How do you be consistent as a new coach, especially if you are maybe building your business on the side while working a busy job? That's what we're going to talk about today. I built my first online coaching business about 6-7 years ago while I was still in my 9-to-5, had a very demanding job, and built it to 6 figures before I turned in my notice. So I'm going to share with you some of my top tips today for how I was able to do that. Let's get right into it. Tip number 1 is a little bit counterintuitive, and it is what I like to call be commitment phobic. Be very commitment phobic. And what I mean by that is, as I was building my business while I was in my 9-to-5, I was very careful about what I committed to. So let me give you a few examples. I didn't try to be on every single platform at once. I didn't try and maintain my email list and my social media platforms and do as much as possible. I frankly, for my first few clients, didn't even have a website. I only focused on the one thing, frankly, that I could do that would make the biggest difference. And back then, for me, because I was, my first online business was doing online digital advertising consulting, was to go into online groups where small business owners were, talk to them, connect with them, help them, and share what I had to offer. So I did that, and that's all I did. So on days when I was super busy from work, I only had about 15 minutes a day to work on my business. I knew, okay, I'm going to go into this Facebook group, I'm going to do this thing, and it's going to be what I need to do. And that was it. Over the years, as I've grown my business, I have continued to do the same thing. And so after that, after I built my business, started this business, and of course left my 9-to-5, for the first 2 years of this business, I focused just on Facebook. I focused on Facebook, my Facebook group, using Facebook ads, and that was it. I really wasn't on any other social media platform. After that, I focused more on my email list, on Instagram, and really only much later started focusing on my own blog and on YouTube. I think I might have turned those around. I think I started YouTube before Instagram, but the idea is this: at any one point, anytime I was doing something new, and always throughout the history of my business, I was very commitment phobic in a smart, strategic way. I would analyze, okay, what's the highest, best use of my time, my limited resources, and I would focus on that. I would get it down in a way that was easy to maintain and do. Maybe I would outsource some things, and only then, once I had gotten it consistent, would I really even think about moving to another platform, traffic source strategy, etc. So that is the first tip that I have for you. The second one is to essentially put on your blinders. And what I mean by that is a huge reason that people aren't able to stay committed and consistent in the beginning of their new businesses is because they get discouraged. I've seen this time and time again, and frankly, it happened to myself for quite a while when I was trying to start my first coaching business. Maybe you write a post and no one responds, and you just feel so depressed, and you wonder, okay, what's the point? Or you put out a video that you spend so much time on, or maybe you write a really heartfelt email to a client that you want to work with, or to someone in your industry who's established who you want to share some content with, and you never hear back. And so what you have to do is essentially be prepared for that, and what's more, put on the blinders. So there's a fine line here, because I am also one to say, look, monitor your numbers, know what's working, know what's not, so you're not wasting your time, you're improving things, you're optimizing them. But at the same time, in the beginning, once you've figured out the strategy you're going to go with, you've committed to it, and you know you're going to do it, and it works. It's not like you've plucked a strategy out of nowhere. Then you might want to, in the beginning, if this is what you need, to say, okay, I'm just going to do my thing, and then I'm not going to worry about if it has likes, if it has comments, if I get sales yet. I'm just going to put on the blinders for a while, because I need to show up consistently and not give up too early. So for example, when I first started being online in Facebook groups, I said, okay, I'm going to be in these Facebook groups every day for 3 to 4 weeks, Monday through Friday. And I'm not going to make any decisions about whether or not I'm going to stop being these groups until then. So week 1, week 2, week 3, I didn't get a ton of responses, right? And then around the 1 month mark, people started saying, okay, this person's content, this Luisa's person's content is really good. She knows what she's talking about. I've seen her around. All right, let me engage with it a little bit. If I'd given up any sooner, I wouldn't have been able to get to that point. And I only got to that by putting on my blinders. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is to make your commitments not just a to-do, but to really make them non-negotiable components of your long game. So here's the thing, and this is something that you have to feel into for yourself. Why are you building your business? What's your long-term goal? For me in the beginning, it was not only because I wanted to do something more fulfilling with my life, but I wanted to do something that would give me the time and the financial freedom to take care of my loved ones and to be with them when they needed me. And so I knew I didn't care if it took me a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I was going to make it work. No matter how long it took and what it took, I was going to figure it out. And with that, it allowed me to completely reframe the things that I had to do. So putting up a Facebook post no longer was a, you know what, if I feel like it, I'll do it. It's just a silly Facebook post, right? You know what I mean? I'm not saying Facebook posts are silly, but in the grand scheme of things, it can be easy to tell that to ourselves. And so instead of thinking that, I instead thought, okay, this is one post, one step closer to me building a business, a brand that helps people, that allows me to do what I love and live the life that I want. And so this is just, I'm putting, one drop, one pebble, one breadcrumb, whatever you want to call it, towards my big bucket. And this is what I need to do. And when I reframed it to be that serious, to be about, look, this is building the digital trail for my brand. People are seeing me. I'm showing up. I'm telling them I'm serious. I'm telling them I'm here to stay no matter how long it takes. It completely reframed it into, oh my gosh, this is like a job. It's even more than a job because it's a job that I want to do, and it's going to help me create something way more fulfilling than my current job, and potentially financially fulfilling as well. And you know what? I'm putting my brand, my reputation on the line, putting my dreams, my goals. And so this is not just a to-do that I can kind of skip until tomorrow. I'm going to do it before I go to sleep. And so sometimes if it was, I didn't get home until 8 or 9, I wasn't going to sleep until like 10, 11, 12, whatever it took, that if it had to be the last thing I did before I went to sleep, I did it. And so that reframe was really powerful and helpful for me. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is to make it easy. And when I say make it easy, I mean to do things, especially when you're starting out, in the simplest, least complicated way possible. I've always done it that way. So when I first started being in Facebook groups, I wasn't worried about how am I going to systematize this? How am I going to schedule it? All of those things. Like, there's a time and place for all of that, absolutely. But in the beginning, when you're struggling to overcome starting and all these negative thoughts and fears and voices in your head, you just want to make it as easy as possible. So I just said, okay, I don't care what it takes. I'm just going to write a post every day, Monday through Friday, for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And really, I use that principle for anything that I do nowadays. When I'm making a new course or program, I think, okay, what's the easiest, best way I can do it? Do I deliver it live as a program first? Do I deliver it first to my private coaching clients? Whatever is going to get me to get out of my head. When I first started doing my YouTube channel, it really was just me sitting in front of my computer recording some videos, because I knew if I had to do the really nice camera setup, had to hire a team to help me figure like my thumbnails, my video editing, all of these things, that I would just never do it. And so I took it one step at a time. Same thing for really my Instagram, learning how to write emails, my products, everything. Always start with the easiest way possible. That's going to get you started. That's going to get you really focused on committing to it. And then as you do it, it becomes more fun. You start seeing more results, and that allows you to snowball, allows you to get more clients, which allows you to outsource more, focus more on the things you want, and continue to stay committed, especially as you have more and more people to support you. So those are the 4 tips that I have for you for how to stay committed as a new coach, especially if you're working on the side in your 9 to 5. If you found that helpful, I also have another great video for you with more details on how I was able to build a 6-figure business before I left my 9 to 5. So I will link that video for you somewhere on the screen and or in the description below. I also have a great PDF for you on my 15-second script for getting your first or next paying client. So again, I'm going to link that somewhere on the screen and or in the description below so that if you want it, you can go and get that. So if you found all of this helpful and you're new to my channel, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified every week when I release another great video on building your own online coaching and or course business. All right, that's it for today. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you next time.